Yo YouTube! This is my video for Monday the 11th of February and I am on the road. My job this morning I got on Friday and it's a little job going from Boston to Gainsborough. It's 43 loaded miles. It's for a long wheelbase van and I got the job for £60, 60. I've just picked it up. It's one pallet which would have fitted on a medium van certainly, but it's quite heavy. It's about 850 kilograms. And my time of pickup was due to be between 7 and 9 o'clock. So I managed to get myself out of bed, crawled out of bed and got on the road in time to get there for 8 o'clock. I was only about 15 miles away, about half an hour journey. And I had to wait for about half an hour before I got loaded. But I'm now loaded. I was loaded off-site at 8:45 and I should be arriving in just under an hour. And so at the moment the day's not been brilliant because of the half-hour delay, because I left the house, you know, about probably an hour later than I could have done to have got this job. Although to be fair, when I arrived on site they weren't that much in a rush to get me loaded, so I'm not sure if I got there at 7 they'd have been any quicker, to be honest. I might have waited until the same time. It's one of those jobs where I think I'm doing an intermediary transport, because I'm picking up from just a generic warehousing operation and I'm moving it to, I think, another generic warehousing operation, or it might even be the end point, but I don't think I'm certainly not picking up from the producer of these goods. This has definitely been held overnight, or over the weekend at least, by these people. So I don't believe they were bothered with what time I arrived at the pickup point. Obviously the customers at the other end want me to be there as quickly as possible, but yeah, I don't know if getting up an hour early would have made much difference, to be honest. So I am awake, I am on the road, I am hopeful, although not expecting very much today. I haven't yet had time to look at what it's like when I arrive, what the jobs are like. There's a stream of jobs coming through as alerts, but they'll be from my home area, so they're not necessarily where I'm going to. And I'll be there when I finish this video. I'll have a quick look and see whether it's busy or not. I suspect it will not be busy, both in terms of drivers available and work available. And at the moment, strategy-wise, I don't know what to do, whether I go long distance or short distance. I kind of feel like I should try doing some short jobs today, but I'm never very satisfied with that sort of day. So we'll just see, and I'll let you know. Cheers. Right, hello there. I have offloaded my first job of the day, Gainsborough. I arrived on site just before 10 o'clock. I had to wait for a little bit before I got offloaded, but not too long, and then I was off site just after 10, about 10 past, 10. At this point there were a few jobs, but not very many, and there weren't many drivers where I was, but there were drivers in the areas where the jobs were coming up. They were coming up sort of Nottingham, Hull, Grimsby, Rotherham, Sheffield. So I was quite a long distance from all those. There was the odd job that was local. There was a Gainsborough job going to Hull, but that wasn't even until 12 o'clock, just 2 hours after I'd seen it, and in the end I didn't get that job. So what I chose to do is go to the nearest Morrison's in Gainsborough, go to the toilet, get a bit of food, and then look for jobs once I've done that. And I have won a job. I am on my way to Rotherham now to pick it up, but I did mess up my bidding for it. and I'll tell you what happened. So it was a job pick up in Rotherham and then 2 delivery stops in Peterborough. And on the note, on the original booking, it was 89 loaded miles, it said. And I put in a quick calculation on my calculator and worked out that I would bid £60 for it, based on £50 plus £10 for the extra stop. And I put £60 on, I got a job, got the call through quite quickly. But it wasn't until I got the call, got the job assigned to me, that I noticed it was at 99 miles loaded. So I went back and checked my calculation. Luckily I still had it in my calculator, and what I had done was I'd incorrectly put 89 miles times 60 pence, where I was meant to put 80 pence, and then add a tenner on for the second stop. So I felt that I'd really messed up. I rang the shipper back and I asked if they'd make it £80, because I'd made a mistake, and I made it clear it was my mistake, and also I made it clear that if they refused to do that, I would still do the job for the price that they said. But I said I'd like to do it for a fairer price than 60, and they gave me the £20 extra, which I thought was very good of them. So I will remember this shipper. I do see their jobs every so often, and I'll remember that they did me a favour. It's still reasonably cheap. It's a small van job going basically 100 miles for £80, but there is 2 stops. But this first stop is just a stop for the customer to check the items before they're delivered to their customer. So it won't be loading or unloading, but there still might be some delays. So I've got away with it now, having used my charm on the phone to explain the situation, and I'm on my way to the pickup now, which is about 22 miles away from Gainsborough. It's about less than 40 minutes, but let's say 40 minutes journey to get there. I'll be there at 12 o'clock, and then the journey down to Peterborough will be about an hour and a half in total, I reckon, including the 2 stops. So I should be in Peterborough about 1:30, having done 2 small jobs. So today is definitely going to be a small job day, because I don't want to end up in the northwest or Bristol last thing. To be fair, I say that, and as I'm saying it out loud, I'm thinking, no, you probably will, won't you? You probably will end up in Bristol this afternoon at sort of 6 o'clock. So I'm not going to say that. Right, I'll let you know how it goes. Cheers! It's now just gone 2:15, and I've just left my drop-off point in Peterborough. It was about an hour and 50 minutes journey time to get to Peterborough from where I was in Gainsborough, so it's a bit longer than I thought it was going to be. So now I'm ready to look for work. At the moment there's nothing available on the CX. It's all Leicester, Corby, Nottingham at the moment, which is, I'm not going that far away to pick up a load. At the moment I'm driving to the local garage where I can fill up my van with fuel on my fuel card. That's about 4 miles away, it's 10 minutes. So I'll do that while looking for jobs. I've currently got 1 mile officially left to go. I know I can do at least 15 miles and that gets down to 0, so I've got plenty of juice to get where I want to go. And yeah, so I finished my job a bit later than I thought it was going to be, but I'm now available. I'm looking for something local, so probably Peterborough to somewhere within about 60 miles, and hopefully if I do something even shorter than that, say within 20 or 30 miles, do a couple of those jobs at £50 or £40 even, 45 maybe, then I would be happy. At the moment I'm in a weird situation. In the middle of the day, while at work, I'm so close to home. If I go home from here, it's about 20 minutes on the right side of Peterborough to go home. Actually, if I turn left at this junction, I'm going to go right at this roundabout. If I turn left, that's the way to go home. Anyway, so I'll let you know how it goes. It's not been a disaster yet, but it's not yet been a day where I'm earning any money. At the moment I've earned £140 gross, which is not going to be enough really to make it worth coming out. So hopefully I get at least one more job. And I'll let you know. Yeah, so get some fuel and then I'll be ready to, in earnest, look for a job. Hello YouTube. I am waiting in Peterborough for a job. There's not a lot of stuff going on. It's now 3:30. I'm quite tempted just to pop home and maybe have a luxurious bath this afternoon. I don't know if is it any worth me staying here any longer? I don't know. Do you like my new screen effect I have to sort of block out the registration numbers of vehicles? It looks like rain, doesn't it, on my screen? It's quite a clever effect that I've managed to achieve through my phone, and I hope that you appreciate the technological wizardry that's gone into making this part of the video. Right, I'm going to persist for a bit longer, but I get that feeling it's not going to happen. So shall I just wander slowly home? It will take me half an hour to get back from here, and then I'll be snug in my house. Or do I sit in this cold car park, quite dreary day, and hope something comes up? I don't know. I suspect I'm going to end up very soon after this video starting my engine and driving home. Yeah, there's a lot of drivers. I've done a screenshot. There's a lot of drivers in the area, and I'm in a good area to go. I can go to Oakham, go to Grantham, Huntington, Wisbech, obviously Spalding, Boston to an extent. I could go there. I can get to Peterborough. Obviously that's where I am now. There's a lot of places I can get work from. Quite a wide area, but it's just not like other areas in terms of it's not that industrial, and it's just not a lot of work. So it is quiet. If you've ever come to Peterborough on your travels as a self-employed courier working on the CX, you'll know exactly what it's like. A lot of drivers, not a lot of work, and it's quite frustrating. The only difference here is that I'm nearly home, so for a change I can just pop home if it doesn't work out. But then I'm thinking, why not just go home anyway and look for a job on your way back? If a job comes up, because I'll tell you why I'm not going to do that. Because if I do that, a job will come up in Peterborough just as I get home, and I'll find it really frustrating to know that. And it'll be a job that I won't bid on, but I might have got it, and I will find that irritating and frustrating. But I might get a job from Boston, you see. That's the advantage, which is even closer. What do you do? If you're a lot of my videos, I think, are obviously about me and what I'm doing, but I do feel there's a cohort of viewers. I don't have a lot of viewers, to be fair, but there'll be a small cohort of those viewers who are doing exactly the same things I'm doing on a daily basis, who will know exactly what it feels like to be in this situation, not know what to do, and to regret doing what you do end up doing. And this bit of video, this video today, is a big heads up to all you guys that are out on the road trying to do this in the same way and getting the same sort of experiences I am. I'm sure a lot of this rings true for you guys. Right, I'll let you know how it goes. I'll probably end up going home soon, so cheers! Hello, I am sitting here having driven out of Peterborough. I'm 15 minutes away from home. It's now just gone 4 o'clock. And I'm going to put a map up now to show the local drivers, the CX map. And I want to talk a little bit about what I learned about those colour-coded markers. So, for those who don't know, the green markers in a CX app refers to drivers that are a member of CX and they are actively looking for work. The red markers are drivers that are a member of CX and they are not available for work for whatever reason. That could be because they're on a job at the moment and driving to either collect or offload, or it could be they're not working because it's not working today, they're on a break, or they're just choosing not to work. And the yellow markers is defined as, I'm going to say yellow, but you could call it amber. I'm not sure how you're seeing it. So the amber stroke yellow markers are for people who are defined as being maybe available for work, who are registered with CX. And I've always assumed that they are people who are potentially going to co-load, because they've got something on board. They maybe could do a job depending on whether the people accept their co-loading. And there is an option of selecting the reason why you're yellow or amber in the app. But I worked out another reason why you are amber, and that was with the help of a colleague who's also a CX member. And that is, particularly in the morning, when you log on to CX, if you look at your status, it's grey, as in there's no status recorded. And then you can choose to select active, inactive, or maybe active. But if you do nothing, it's greyed out as on the screen. But people can still see you on their map. And there was a day a couple of weeks ago when I got a colleague of mine to look at my marker as I was close to them, and I was amber stroke orange, but I noticed that I had no status. And when I changed my status to active, it went then green. So I think those drivers that are yellow could also be drivers that haven't yet logged on to their app, but you're in their area. And they might have it running in the background, but they're not logged on. So they might have it running, and they're not actually looking at it actively, and haven't given themselves a status level. So theoretically, those amber drivers might be drivers that are actually empty, waiting to work and log on. So that's something else to consider when you're looking at how busy an area is. We probably need to look at green and amber drivers as potential competitors. If you didn't know that, I hope that's useful. You only know what I'm talking about if you use CX, and you can visualise what I'm talking about. But also, if I definitely am wrong, if you know for a fact that I'm wrong, and not just an internet warrior who wants to complain about everything, if you know for a fact that I'm wrong, obviously let me know. I haven't spoken to CX about it, but I just think it makes a lot of sense from the investigation I did that that's what's going on. And if it helps people, then I think it's useful to put it out there. So in terms of my day, there isn't really much going on where I am. It's all still jobs coming from Rushden, Corby, Leicester, Nottingham, and Northampton. Just nothing much coming from where I am. There was a job I bid on going from Wisbech to Grimsby, and I put a bid on it of £100. It was a medium wheelbase van job, going 85 loaded miles, and I was half an hour away from it. And I worked out that if I'd done that job, it would have taken me about 4 and a bit hours, and I would have made a gross income today of £240 and been home about 8:30. And I would have therefore made a net income of around about £183. As it is, I didn't get that job, and so I've come to where I am now, which is, as I said, 15 minutes from home. I'm so close to just going home. In fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go into town and surprise my partner when she's at work, and sort of just give her a pleasant surprise. So I like doing that when I can. But I think it's looking so unlikely I'm going to get a job. That Wisbech to Grimsby job would have been perfect for me at that price. But obviously I was a bit too far away, or I was a bit too expensive. So I think I'm going to have to call it a day after this video. You can see that I'm now managing to gradually bring in the rain effect look on my screen, but that's because there's no cars in front of me with registrations or lorries in front of me. If there had been a lorry there, I'd put that effect on really quickly, because it's really important to keep people's privacy. Anyway, moving on to today. I've had a quick look, and I'm going to go home, probably go home via town, and if I do that, I will have made £140 gross, and I will have made £105 net after fuel today. And that figure is quite an interesting figure, because it's 1/3 of £315. And £315 is the amount of money that I need to earn every week to pay for my business costs. And if you don't know where that figure comes from, I did a video a couple of videos ago about my 2014 expenses, and I managed to work out that for that year, not taking out any inflation, but to cover my expenses again for that sort of year, would be £315 every week that I work. And so the first amount of money that I make in a week goes to pay my business expenses, and anything I earn above £315 is my money. It's money for me to keep for myself, for my earnings. And so today I've actually earned exactly 1/3 of that money, and I'm going to be working 3 days this week. So today I genuinely have covered my business costs, but I've generally not made any money for myself. So that is the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, so that's that. I think I'm going to bring this video to a close. Thank you very much for listening to my video. I hope that you are all being successful, however you choose to define that word for yourselves. It might not be about money, it might be about something else. I'm probably going back, or I aim to be back on Wednesday. I'm going to have to start thinking about trying to fit in extra little jobs on Thursday and Saturday mornings before dialysis, just to kind of help me sort of make my targets. At the moment, it's not been feasible, and there's not been the work, but I haven't really been looking either. But I think moving forward, next week onwards, I need to look at those opportunities to make a bit more money. It's going to be difficult, but I think it could be possible. If I do one every other week, if I do one extra job every other week, that's perhaps £150 or thereabouts a month extra, which would make a difference.